Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching the news at 10 live on Channels Television. A reminder of our top stories. Gunmen killed 26 people in Adamawa and Kaduna states as suspected Boko Haram terrorists also raided to Kushe village in Borno state, killing at least 4 people. Former Edo State Governor Adams Oshiomhole is affirmed new national chairman of the All Progressives Congress as delegates from Imo and Delta states engage in free-for-all at National Convention. We'll also examine recent cases of suicide bombings in Nigeria and how terrorists lure minors to take up suicide missions in the northeast. And President Mnangagwa of Zimbabwe escapes assassination following an explosion at a political rally in Bulawayo. ChannelsU.com has more information for you, and on youtube.com/channelsweb you can watch our videos. You can also watch us on your mobile device via your browser or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows devices from their respective stores. Besides giving you access to news and updates on the go, the Channels TV and Channels 24 apps have an eyewitness feature that you can use to share pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu, and please follow the instructions. Former Governor of Edo State, Adams Oshiomhole, has emerged as the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress. This was announced in Abuja today during the party's national convention in Abuja, where thousands of delegates had gathered to choose new national leaders. He ran unopposed for the chairmanship position.
The position of the national chairman is unopposed, and the winner is Comrade Adams Oshiomhole. Adams Oshiomhole has won unopposed. So I want the convention to affirm. Have you?
During a speech which was almost marred by violence, President Muhammadu Buhari commended the outgoing leadership for keeping the party intact. He says he is optimistic that the party will remain stronger after the convention.
So please stop drumming at these points, please.
I want to assure everyone here that despite a few lingering issues with the congresses in some states, our great party will emerge stronger after this convention. The unresolved cases we have is the price we have to pay for success, as everyone wants to be associated with a winning team. I am imploring all those with grievances to keep faith with the party until we put things right. The adoption of consensus as a first option is commendable, and the process has led to a lot of healing and cohesion across the states and the zones, and where elections are inevitable.
The outgoing national chairman of the party, Mr. John Eyegun, thanked members of the party for their support during his tenure.
Today, I'm making my exit from the honor that you have bestowed on me to lead you for 4 years. Phase 1 of this party is over. Phase 2 is about to begin. There are divergent views here and there, but the essence is that the APC is at the end of the day a strong party, a passionate party, a party that believes in its vision and the vision of Mr. President for the future of this country.
These are earlier scenes of the National Convention. We hear that there were scenes of violence among delegates from Imo and Delta states taking part in the All Progressives Congress National Convention in Abuja. We hear that some fought through cheers and anger while the president, Muhammadu Buhari, was delivering his speech. Reports say trouble began when a group loyal to Rochester Okorocha, governor of Imo State, arrived at the stand reserved for Imo delegates and asked those loyal to Eze Madumere, his deputy, to vacate the seats. The order was resisted, leading to fisticuffs as the private security guard of the governor allegedly descended on members of the group. Some, we hear, were forcefully removed. Meanwhile, delegates from Delta states were also engaged in a brawl. Well, for more on what happened in Abuja at the National Convention, we hear our correspondent Larry Lastisi is there in Abuja, I believe at the convention arena. Hello, Larry, if you can hear me. Good evening.
I can hear you. I can.
Progressives Congress,
Well,
APC.
I can tell you that right now everything is calm. The process is still ongoing. You've seen various pictures of what it's been like from earlier in the day. The president has been here. Members, the leadership of the National Assembly were here. Governors have all been present. It's been one show of a united party. Well, yes, you saw some of the pictures from some contentions in some of the state pavilions, but that has been just some of the few signs we've seen of problems here and there. Voting is still going on right now. A lot is still happening, but we will be getting more details because I have standing here with me the chairman of the 2018 National Convention Committee of the APC. Good evening.
Good evening.
Can you tell us exactly what stage we are at now?
Well, we are about 70% into voting. Probably in the next 2 or 3 hours we finish voting and start counting. As you can see, voting is going. Most of the state has finished voting, and some of the delegates has even gone back home. Remaining some few states, and I believe we'll soon conclude.
Well, we observed that a lot of contestants or aspirants, candidates as you put it, came up and stepped aside. Some said they were stepping down. What's the total number of seats or positions that are being voted for right now?
Well, they keep coming and they keep stepping aside. I believe by now we have about 26 positions stepped aside, which means we'll be voting about 34 now. And it's ongoing. Before the end of the voting, probably some will withdraw, and then the number will be a lot less.
The issue of whether or not these issues of the fracas in some of these states, Delta and Imo, how are you going about resolving that, and how is it affecting the process so far?
As you are aware, during our congresses, there were about 11 states that have issues. So we thank God it's only 2 now that have some fracas, and as you have seen, they have settled down, and I believe they are being orderly now. And we will sort out ourselves, and I'm sure they will vote and go back home happy and peacefully. It's normal with a big party. It's normal in Nigeria anyway to have some skirmishes during elections. It happens on all conventions.
Thank you very much. Well, there we have the chairman of the 2018 APC National Convention Committee. You heard him there. Voting is still ongoing. We're 75% into that. We're still going to go into sorting. We're still going to go into counting for those positions that have not been resolved by affirmation or by having unanimous candidates. So we'll be here. We'll bring you the results as they come in.
Many thanks, Larry Lastisi, our correspondent there in Abuja. We'll be speaking to him as we go along. In the meantime, Nigeria's main opposition party, the People's Democratic Party, they have described the National Convention of the ruling All Progressives Congress as a mockery of democracy and assault on the sensibility of Nigerians. In a statement from the party's National Publicity Secretary, Mr. Kola Olabodiyan, it says the open intimidation and physical assault on aspirants and delegates to the convention further confirms the desperation by the president's camp to seize the party's presidential ticket. He says, quote, "It is instructive to state that the APC convention directly reflects the confusion, intimidations, violations, and descent to fascism that have characterized governance in our nation in the last 3 years. It is clear that with the character, personality, and outlook of the incoming national executive of the APC, the party has been finally sunk by President Buhari and his power-hungry cabal." End of quote. The PDP is also asking Nigerians and the international community to mark the desperation in the president's camp, for which, according to him, are bent at destroying the country's democracy. In Bayelsa State, the government has debunked the rumor by a faction of the All Progressives Congress that the government has sacked 28,000 workers as a fallout of the ongoing reforms. The state government adds that what it has done is what other administrations failed to do because they considered politics above the interest and survival of the state.
The ongoing public service reform in Bayelsa State is aimed at cleaning up the system of payroll fraud, certificate forgery, and other sharp practices. The Bayelsa State Governor, Siraki Dixon, reiterates that he has no apologies for ridding the system of bad eggs.
The public service reforms will ensure that all those who do not go to work, whose names are on the payrolls, must be taken out. And I have no apologies for that. I've said that over and over. That's the right thing to do. Leadership is not just about taking decisions that are popular. I have a duty to do what is right for this state and for the future of our people.
To reports that the state government has sacked about 28,000 workers, which according to the state government is a rumor from the opposition party. They've described it as false. The spokesperson for the Bayelsa state government encourages civil servants not to be used as tools in the hands of nefarious politicians.
This reform is non-partisan, and we see no reason why people should be playing politics with a serious matter as this. Nobody has been sacked as a result of these reforms. Nobody, and I repeat it, nobody, not one person in the civil service or in the public service in the state or in the local government have been sacked.
The reform, according to some, has been able to recover and save about 684 million naira from the local governments alone. According to the Bayelsa state governor, the reform is not a means to witch hunt anyone, but to right the wrongs in the civil service in terms of grade levels, certificate forgery, and rid the system of ghost workers.
When the News at 10 returns, Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries and its allies agreed to share oil production increase a day after raising output. That's on Business News. Please join us again.